Fentanyl. It's a word you hear constantly, right? Oh, usually linked to tragedy, addiction, lives just shattered.
Absolutely.
And you hear about people giving up everything for it, family, homes, their lives. It almost makes you wonder, it must be some amazing, incredible feeling.
You think so?
But then what if I told you that people who actually know it often call it, well, garbage heroin? So today, that's what we're doing, a deep dive into fentanyl.
Yeah, our goal today is really to get under the hood of fentanyl. What's it actually doing in your body and your mind?
Right.
How does it stack up against other opioids?
Right.
And maybe most importantly, why has it become this absolute deadly force, affecting even people who had no intention of ever taking it?
Yeah.
We want to give you a really solid, informed view on this stuff.
Okay, let's unpack this then. But before we can really get into fentanyl itself, we kind of need to understand something more basic, right? Something fundamental about being human.
Definitely.
Pain and pleasure. How does that dynamic work in us?
That's exactly the place to start. Pain and pleasure. They're like these two massive opposing forces that guide us basically for survival.
Okay.
Pain is the big alarm signal. Stop,
Mm-hmm.
danger. Whether it's like a physical thing, a sharp object, or emotional pain like rejection eating away at you, it tells you to avoid harm.
Makes sense. Avoid the bad stuff.
And pleasure, that's the flip side. It's what makes life feel good, what makes you want to do things again. Think sweet food, human connection, even small things like opening a pack of cards or something. It encourages repetition.
So avoid pain, seek pleasure. Pretty basic drives.
Super basic. But here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes your body needs to do both things at once. It needs to kill pain and create some kind of good feeling, or at least override the negative.
Like when?
Well, think about a mother right after childbirth. Intense pain, but then this rush of hormones for bonding. Or maybe a hunter pushing through exhaustion and injury during a chase. These aren't exactly fun moments, but they're crucial.
Gotcha. So the body needs a mechanism for that.
Exactly. And nature came up with the mighty opioid receptor.
Okay, what's that?
Imagine it like a little keyhole on your neurons, your nerve cells. When it gets activated, it does two amazing things. Dials down pain signals and kind of makes you care less about any pain you do feel.
Wow.
And at the same time, it triggers good feelings, pleasure. So an opioid is basically just any molecule, any key that fits into that receptor keyhole.
So wait, our bodies already make these, like endorphins? I thought that was just for like a runner's high.
Exactly like endorphins. That's our natural version. But when your body uses its own endorphins, it does it in really tiny amounts, right where it's needed.
Oh, localized.
Very localized, very controlled. So the effects are pretty mild. A sprained ankle feels a bit better. Maybe a bad memory stings a little less. Or you get that little warmth seeing an old friend. It's subtle.
Okay, that makes total sense for how our bodies should work. But then humans got involved. We found ways to hit those receptors harder, right?
Precisely. We found natural ones like morphine, amazing, for pain release initially. And from there, we developed a whole family of drugs for medicine. Codeine, OxyContin, Vicodin. Powerful stuff.
But then things went further.
Then things went further. We got heroin, and eventually fentanyl.
Okay, so before we tackle why fentanyl is the, quote, garbage drug, let's try and understand heroin first, because that experience, it's often described as this overwhelming thing. Can you, walk us through what that actually feels like?
Right. Let's try to imagine it. When heroin enters your bloodstream, it's like a heat-seeking missile for those opioid receptors. It finds them everywhere and flips the switch.
All at once.
Pretty much all at once.
Yeah.
It triggers this rapid cascade of things. It's like a symphony of intense sensations washing over your whole body. Every cell involved in pleasure just gets turned up to 11.
Wow.
The floodgates of happy hormones just burst open. You feel this pure, absolute bliss from your head down to your toes. Ordinary things become extraordinary.
Like what?
Like a simple cup of coffee might taste like the most incredible nectar you've ever had.
Yeah.
Your favorite song. It sounds like it's being sung by angels. A simple touch can feel like pure universal love.
Incredible. And the pain side?
Gone. Completely gone. Physical pain, aches, injuries, vanishes.
Yeah.
But also the emotional stuff, loneliness, self-doubt, anxiety. It just evaporates. You literally can't feel pain, and you don't even care about it.
So your brain's alarm system is just off.
Look to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel this deep ease, this warmth, this profound serenity. Worries just dissolve into this kind of dreamlike haze. It even affects your body physically. Your breathing slows down, your gut calms down.
Like floating.
Exactly. Like you're sailing on this calm, happy ocean that feels perfect and like it'll last forever. Honestly, that first time with a powerful opioid like heroin, It's probably one of the most amazing feelings a human can experience.
Yeah.
For a few hours, it's like heaven.
Okay. Listening to that, I mean, you can almost understand the pull, but my brain is screaming. And
Oh.
what's the catch? There has to be a huge downside.
Oh, absolutely.
Because this feeling, this intensity, that's exactly the problem, isn't it?
That is precisely the problem.
Yeah.
Your brain simply isn't built for that level of pleasure overload.
Right.
You just had the best feeling of your entire life, probably the best you ever will have.
Right.
And your brain's reward center is just completely overwhelmed, fried, basically.
Right.
It makes a terrible mistake. It thinks, whatever just happened, that's essential for survival. I must do that again.
But you can't get that first feeling back.
Never. Not really. That first high becomes this unreachable peak moment
Mm-hmm.
forever, and then you crash back down to reality. Your normal insecurities are back. Your knee might ache again. Coffee is just coffee, and getting happy takes effort. You know, the saying, comparison is the thief of joy?
Yeah.
Well, here it's on an epic scale. Your entire normal life just seems dull, gray, pointless compared to that memory of bliss. That feeling causes deep, maybe irreparable damage to how you see life, how you see yourself.
And that's before we even talk about addiction.
Right. And opioids are horrifically addictive, among the worst substances out there for hijacking your brain.
So that was the supernova of pleasure. What happens next? When the high is gone and addiction starts digging its claws in, does it flip? Become a supernova of pain?
It absolutely flips. After just a few uses, sometimes only days, your brain starts fighting back. Those cells dealing with pain and pleasure, they've been constantly drugged into being drowsy, so they become hyperactive to compensate.
Tolerance.
Exactly, opioid tolerance.
Yeah.
And it happens fast. Suddenly, those amazing feelings are much weaker. Now you're at a fork in the road.
Quit or take more.
Quit, and your system eventually resets. It's rough, but possible. Or keep going. Take higher doses to chase that feeling.
And if you take that second path,
If you take that path over weeks, maybe months, your brain keeps pushing back harder. You keep upping the dose. The effects aren't amazing anymore. Maybe just mildly pleasant. Maybe just stopping you feeling bad. Until one day you can't get the drug. And then you discover your own body has become the enemy. Those hyperactive systems, they unleash hell. The exact opposite of the drug's effects. Welcome to withdrawal.
oh man, what does that feel like?
It starts with this creeping dread, this deep unease. Nothing feels good. Coffee is bitter. Music is annoying. People feel distant. Instead of bliss, you get this storm of negativity, anxiety, angst, like something terrible is about to happen. All those worries and fears, the drug numbed, they come roaring back, but amplified. It feels like an existential crisis.
And physically.
Physically, it's torture.
Yeah.
Restlessness, you can't sit still.
Yeah.
Your heart pounds, you get chills, then sweats, you're breathing too fast. Your pain circuits are on overdrive, so your bones ache, muscles throb. For no reason,
That's-
old injuries flare up.
That's awful.
It gets worse, severe stomach cramps, diarrhea, vomiting. You're too agitated to even sleep. It's just this relentless internal war. And through it all, the craving.
Oh, the craving.
An overwhelming scream from your mind and body. Make it stop. Just one more hit. This agony can last up to 2 weeks.
Oh.
It stops instantly if you take more opioids.
So you can't just keep taking heroin to stay in that happy place forever. The drug itself changes the experience.
Exactly. That's the cruel trap. You build tolerance to the good stuff, the euphoria, way faster than you build tolerance to the dangerous effects, like slowed breathing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So what started as feeling like heaven quickly becomes just feeling numb, maybe slightly less awful than withdrawal. You're not chasing pleasure anymore. You're just running from pain. It's a prison cutting you off from real sources of joy. Opioid addiction is brutal, incredibly hard to break free from.
Right. It should be crystal clear by now. You have to be incredibly careful with any opioid. And if someone offers it to you just for fun, just don't. Please don't. The risk that your life just ends or turns into hell, it's terrifyingly real.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've seen the extremes of heroin, the pleasure, the pain. Now let's finally tackle fentanyl, the garbage drug. If heroin is that bad, how is fentanyl even worse?
Right. So everything we said about heroin applies to opioids generally, just with different strengths. Heroin seems like the top, but it isn't. Fentanyl is roughly 50 times more potent.
50 times.
Yeah. But, and this is the absolute T, more potent does not mean 50 times more amazing. It's pretty much the opposite.
How so?
Fentanyl is incredibly good at crossing the blood-brain barrier, the security wall around your brain. It gets in super fast, almost instantly. You go from 0 to extremely high like that.
Okay, fast onset.
But just as fast as it gets in, it gets out. A heroin high might last, what, 6 hours? Fentanyl? It can fade in minutes.
Minutes. Wow. And the high itself?
It's different. Less of that supernova bliss we described. Users often call it more of a black hole of nodding away. Less euphoria, more just heavy sedation, feeling out of it.
So not even that much fun, relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking, no. Because it hits so hard and leaves so fast, it seems to just overwhelm the reward system differently. It crashes the pathways harder, leaves you feeling emptier faster, maybe without even hitting that sustained euphoric part heroin has.
Okay, so faster, shorter, less euphoric. What else?
Well, because it hits the brain with such speed and intensity, it seems to fry that reward center even more effectively. It's actually more addictive than heroin.
More addictive and less pleasant. That's a terrible combination.
It is. And the deadliest part, the dose needed is minuscule, almost invisible. So it's incredibly easy to accidentally take too much and just stop breathing, die.
That's why the death toll is so high.
Astronomical. It's the deadliest illegal drug in U.S. history, by far. We're talking something like 400,000 American deaths just between 2013 and 2023 linked to fentanyl.
So summing up fentanyl, way too dangerous, too intense in the wrong way, super addictive, and barely even fun. It really does sound like garbage heroin.
Pretty much nails it.
But okay, here's the big question then. If it's so bad, why are so many people taking it? Why is it everywhere?
That's the crucial point. Most people aren't seeking out fentanyl for fun. In fact, most users who know about opioids try hard to avoid it.
So why is it dominant?
Because it's a drug dealer's dream drug, purely from a business perspective.
How?
It's incredibly cheap to make in a lab. No fields of poppies needed, like for heroin, and it's unbelievably potent, so it's easy to smuggle huge amounts in small packages. Think about it. One truckload could maybe supply the entire U.S. market for a year.
Wow. Logistics and cost.
Exactly. So this cheap, easy-to-move garbage fentanyl just started flooding the market, pushing out heroin. At first, some heroin users might not have even known or maybe thought it was just stronger stuff, but then the trap closed.
But you said people avoid it. How are they dying from it then?
This is the really insidious part. A huge number of fentanyl deaths happen to people who never meant to take an opioid at all.
How does that happen?
Dealers realize something chilling. Add just a tiny pinch of fentanyl, a trace amount to any other drug, and you make that drug much more addictive.
Even if the user doesn't know it's in there.
Even if they have no idea. They still feel some opioid effect, maybe just sedation or a bit of euphoria they attribute to the other drug, and their brain starts getting hooked without them realizing why. So dealers started cutting everything with it.
Everything. Like what?
Cocaine, meth, counterfeit pills made to look like Xanax or oxycodone. The whole U.S. illegal drug scene became this minefield. Any powder, any pill could have fentanyl in it. And the dealers often mess up the dose, add just a fraction too much.
Lethal.
Lethal. Look at the stats. 2022, about 20% of fentanyl deaths involved fake pills, fake oxy, fake benzos. In 2023, they seized 115 million pills laced with fentanyl. And get this, 70% of those pills had a potentially deadly dose inside.
70%.
And maybe the most shocking, around half of fentanyl overdoses involved stimulants like cocaine or meth. People thought they were taking an upper, not a powerful downer.
That's terrifying. So people just wanting to party, maybe taking what they think is coke or a painkiller. They're completely unprepared for an opioid. They have no tolerance.
Zero tolerance, which means a dose that a regular opioid user might survive could easily kill them. It makes accidental overdoses tragically common.
Man. So it really seems like fentanyl has zero upsides outside of a hospital setting. For the dealers, it's just easy money. For people already addicted to opioids, it makes their addiction worse, their life worse.
Much worse life, yeah.
And for totally unsuspecting people, it's potentially a death sentence they never, ever saw coming.
That sums it up perfectly. Using any opioid recreationally, no matter how you slice it, is playing with fire. Fentanyl turns that fire into an absolute raging furnace. It cranks up the risk of death exponentially, often without any warning.
So the takeaway is pretty stark.
It really is. There's only one safe conclusion if you ever face that choice. Don't step into that supposed supernova of pleasure, the danger of it instantly becoming a supernova of pain or worse. It's just far, far too high.
We really hope this deep dive gave you some clarity, some real perspective on fentanyl and the devastation it causes. Understanding the why and how is so important to grasping the current drug crisis. Maybe take a moment, reflect on this. Think about what it means for how you see things around you.